left without reason to move on. Then you reached down and brought me up from the valley of dry bones. You are the God that saves, the one who rescues me. You rescue me. You are the God that saves. You call me from the grave. You rescue me. Ransomed out of the wreckage, pulled from the ashes of sin's hold. Hope is flowing through these veins, life poured from grace, grace alone. You are the God that saves, the one who rescues me. You rescue me. You are the God that saves. You call me from the grave. You rescue me. You rescue me. I hear the song of victory ring over me. I hear the song of victory ring over me. I hear the song of victory ring over me. I hear the song of victory ring over me. You are the God that saves, the one who rescues me. You rescue me. You are the God that saves. You call me from the grave. You rescue me. You are the God that saves, the one who rescues me. You rescue me. You are the God that saves. You call me from the grave. You rescue me. You rescue me.
How's it going?
Yeah, how you doing?
He wants you to post how you're doing. So, do that. I'll post how we're doing this beautiful Sunday morning. And
We have a surprise.
we have a surprise. It already happened, dude. The countdown video. That was our surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we are making our way through some pretty amazing stories in the Bible. And today, we're actually going to be talking about a lady who was placed in the absolutely most uncomfortable place at the most uncomfortable time, and it was absolutely life-changing for her and an entire nation, an entire giant group of people. It changed their lives because she was in that spot.
That makes no sense.
Should we talk about it a little bit more?
Sure.
Okay, so before we get into the Bible story, though, I do want to spend a little bit of time encouraging you guys and let you know,
talking to you.
and talking to you, and letting you know that we're rooting for you. We want you to take your next step in your walk. And
Did you say wooling?
I said rooting, like
Oh.
woohoo.
Oh, I get it now.
He gets it now. So whether you are just finding out who Jesus is, or if you've been at it for a while, or anywhere in between, I want you to know that you're loved, like this, that you're loved, and I want you to be able, or I want you to know that we're here for you. But here's the thing: I need to know where and who you are. So the way that we can, overcome that barrier is not seeing each other in person, is for you to message me. You can email me at luke@fccnp.org. It's on the screen. Or you can fill out the connection card on the website, which is fccnp.org. And I will reach out to you. All right. So now, I do have a question. Oh, but before I have that question, he wants to tell you something.
Blast at Wednesday at 6.
Don't forget about Blast, Wednesday at 6. Let me know if you... Actually, Parker, we are not having Blast this week. We are going to take 2 weeks off. So I will let everyone know when we are having Blast again. But thank you for reminding me. So, here's my question, though.
Why?
Why? Because, dude, I think we all need a break from Zoom calls.
Why?
Because we have had so many Zoom calls for all of the things. I think we just need a break. So
No.
So that's what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna take a break from Zoom, and that means taking a break from Blast for right now. So here's my question, though.
And I'm still gonna have more Zoom calls. Just me, because...
Just he'll be on Zoom. So all right, here's my question. Let me ask my question. Have you ever felt like your life was out of control?
I never...
Sometimes it feels very out of control.
Well,
right?
yeah, now, because it's out of control with my airplane.
Kind of. So we can't control everything, but... Carson, scoot back. Thank you. However, there's someone who is in control of everything.
Well, yeah, because God is.
Exactly. So we're going to actually spend the next few weeks answering that question of who is in control of everything. And you just said it. It's God, right? Mm-hmm. But we're going to be answering how that actually looks. Now, God's people had been exiles in Babylon. That means that they were not living at their home. They had to leave their homes and go to this place called Babylon. Now, the Persians, they had taken over Babylon. After the exile was over, the Israelites went back to Jerusalem.
Pyre of Tickling.
The Island of Tickling. You're right, that's in the VeggieTales movie. They changed a few things. That's all right.
Oh, yeah.
So, but the Israelites went back to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple. We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And then when the Israelites stopped rebuilding, God sent the prophet Zechariah to talk to them. That's what we talked about last week. God told Zechariah his plan for the Israelites. And Zechariah reminded the Israelites of God's good plan for them. Zechariah reminded the Israelites to return to God. Now, a bunch of years went by between Zechariah and our story today. A group of God's people stayed in Persia while the temple was being rebuilt in Judah. Persia started to become a dangerous place for the Jewish people. But God had a plan to protect his people. Check out the story.
King Ahasuerus was the king of Persia. Many years earlier, when Cyrus was king, he sent some of God's people back to Judah to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. Some of God's people stayed in Persia. God's people were called Jews because they were from Judah. The king of Persia chose Esther to be his queen. Esther didn't tell the king that she was a Jew. One day, Mordecai heard that Haman, an important leader who worked for the king, was planning to kill all the Jews. Mordecai was upset. He was a Jew. He didn't want all the people he loved to be killed. Mordecai and all the Jews cried. Esther didn't know what was wrong. She sent a messenger to ask Mordecai why all the Jews were upset. Mordecai told Esther about Haman's evil plan. "You have to do something," Mordecai said. "Ask the king to stop Haman. Ask him to save the Jewish people." Esther sent a message back to Mordecai. "No one can approach the king unless the king calls for that person first," Esther said. "The punishment is death. Unless the king holds out his scepter, then you may live." "You're a Jew," Mordecai said. "If you don't stop Haman, he will kill you too. Maybe this is why you are the queen. Maybe God put Esther in the palace to save her people." Esther asked Mordecai and the Jews to fast for 3 days. Then Esther would go to the king, even if it meant she might die. On the 3rd day, Esther went to the king. He saw Esther and held out his golden scepter. "What is it, Queen Esther?" the king asked. "What do you want to ask me? I'll give you anything, up to half of my kingdom." Esther said, "Would you and Haman come to a feast today?" So Haman and the king went to Esther's feast. After eating, the king said, "What do you want, Queen Esther? I'll give you anything, up to half of my kingdom." "Come to my feast tomorrow," Esther said. The king agreed. The next day, Haman and the king went to Esther's feast. After eating, the king said, "What do you want, Queen Esther? I'll give you anything, up to half my kingdom." Esther spoke up. "There is a plan to kill me and my people." The king replied, "Who is responsible for this plan?" "This evil enemy, Haman," Esther said. The king was angry. He punished Haman and made a law to keep the Jewish people safe from their enemies. God was in control over Haman's evil plan to destroy the Jews. Like Haman, Satan wants to ruin God's plan and destroy believers. Satan thought he had won when Jesus died on the cross, but God raised Jesus from the dead and defeated Satan once and for all. All who believe in Jesus are rescued from sin and death.
Man, in this story, we saw that God was in control even over Haman's plan to destroy the Jews. And I love how in our Bible story video, they said that Satan has a plan to destroy people who love Jesus, and how that's just like how Haman had a plan to destroy the Jews. You know, Satan thought that he had won when Jesus died on the cross, but God raised Jesus from the dead and defeated Satan once and for all. God showed in the story of Esther and of Jesus on the cross how he is in control of everything in heaven and on earth. So just like God had a plan for Esther to protect the Jewish people, God has a plan for each of us. We don't know exactly what our future is going to look like, right?
Yeah.
But we can trust that God does know.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're thinking about this idea of how God has a plan, a really important question to ask is
just tell your dad or mom.
You can ask your mom or dad, yeah. But the question that I want to ask, Parker, is God involved in everything, or do some things just happen by chance? So take a minute at home.
I don't think so.
Think about it. Talk about it with mom and dad, like Parker said. Is God in control of everything? Is he, make things happen, all of those things, or does some of it just happen by chance? So think about it.
Well, we're just gonna wait here.
We'll just wait here. Okay, we're back.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so let's unpack that question. Let's think about the story that we just heard about Esther. And, there were some details that we didn't talk about because, attention span. But
Attention span.
you read the whole story of Esther, and there are a ton of things that happen where, people are in just the right spot and overhear something, or in just the right time, or just the fact that Esther just happens to be the woman that's selected from the people to be the queen and then has so much influence over that kingdom. We could, say that those things just happened by good luck, but I think the better answer is that God was making those things happen. You see, God is sovereign, and that's just a fancy word of saying that God knows everything and is in control of everything, and does work in everything. So,
for some reason, I'm just so itchy.
He's so itchy. So the next thing that I want to know is, all right, if God is in control of everything, He is sovereign, He's got His hand in everything, then why does He let bad things happen?
I don't know why.
Well, why would He let there be a virus that isn't letting us leave our homes and do really what we want?
Well, why?
Why would He let those things happen? So, the amazing thing is that we have this thing called free will. We get to make our own choices. You're gonna wait, okay?
Okay.
So we have this thing called free will that we get to make our own choices. God's not up in heaven saying, Parker, you will itch your nose right now. Okay, I said that. Like he's not doing that, right? He lets us choose to itch our nose or not, or to eat breakfast, eat a bagel or a bowl of cereal.
I love bagels.
Yes, He does. So God gave us this ability to make choices, and sometimes we don't make the right choice, right? So that's when things go wrong. But that's also where sin came into the world. So I don't want you guys to hear that one person's sin made this virus, right? Because I don't think that's really what happened. But I also don't want to completely pretend to completely understand why some things happen to some people and don't happen to other people. But I do know that God works things for His good, and we choose to trust Him. So our key passage today, it's a verse in the Bible that it does give us a reason for our hard times right now, right? So we're going to read it together, and then we'll practice it. So here's our key passage, Parker. 1 Peter 5:10. The God of all grace, who called you to His eternal glory in Christ, will Himself restore, establish, strengthen, and support you after you have suffered a little while. So this verse, Parker, it talks about God.
What about the numbers?
I said at the beginning this time. I know, changing stuff up, crazy. But so this verse, Parker, it talks about God. It describes God as the God of all grace, and God shows us favor and love that we don't deserve. Right? We don't deserve that. But God, He doesn't promise that we're never going to suffer. He says we're probably gonna, right? And I think right now we can say that we all have some amount of that going on.
Yes, and I just want to go to my dad and Pop's house.
Yeah. But He does promise that He's going to restore us, heal us, strengthen us, and support us. So, the Jews, they would have died at the hands of Haman, but God protected them through Esther, through her bravery.
Because Esther killed Haman for once and for all.
No, she didn't kill him.
Oh,
but God defeated Satan once and for all when Jesus was on the cross.
Satan? Who's Satan?
The devil, the guy who, remember that snake in the Garden of Eden, who tricked Adam and Eve. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one picture that we have of Satan.
Oh,
so he's the guy that
snake
doesn't
that tricked them.
Mm-hmm, that he deceived them. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's Satan.
I mean,
he's the guy that doesn't want. He's against God. He doesn't want us to win. He doesn't want us to be with God.
You mean God killed Satan for all?
He defeated Satan for all once and for all. When Jesus died on the cross and then came back to life,
you mean
he beat sin. He beat Satan, He beat them.
Yes.
So God protected the Jewish people through Esther's bravery. So back to that story. Then God showed them grace and kindness by keeping them safe from Haman's evil plan. And that's pretty awesome. So we're going to say our key passage together again, and we'll practice it this time. So I'll say part of it, and then you guys say it with Parker, okay? So, the God of all grace,
The God of all grace,
who called you
who called you
to his eternal glory,
to his
eternal
glory
in Christ,
in Christ,
will himself restore,
will himself restore,
establish,
strengthen,
and support you after you have suffered
you after you suffered
a little while.
a little while.
1 Peter 5:10.
1 Peter 5:10.
Awesome work, sir. Give me 5. Nice job. Let's go to games. Hey guys, here we are playing some games. We have socks, clothes basket. We're gonna be shooting some hoops. All right, so give me your best shot, Parker.
Okay, I have
Your
to.
craziest shot. Ooh, from the couch. Oh, a little bit of
Too
an
far.
overshot. That's all right. I'm gonna go up here on the steps.
Are those new socks?
They are new socks.
Really cool.
Made it. Your turn.
I'm gonna try. Up.
Full mouth to Carson. Oh, from on top of the couch. Go, Parker. Oh, he makes it. Nice job.
Yes.
All right.
Now do it.
All right, let's see here. Let's go from the other room. Made it. Oh, Parker's going back to the couch.
I decided to go over here.
Oh, all right. Other side of the room. Watch. Oh, he overshoots it just a little bit. All right, here we go. I couldn't do this last time we tried, Parker. Over the back. Oh, no. Oh, well. All right, one more shot, Parker. Tie it up. Oh, he makes it to the tie. Nice job. All right. So, you guys have fun playing some sock basketball? All right.
Hey.
Hey. So, today we talked about how Esther was brave, how God had a plan for... He had a plan for all of the things, and that he was involved in all of those things. But, Esther, she wasn't just brave all of a sudden, right? She had to have something to build off of. She had to have that faith to build her bravery on.
What's faith?
Faith is what we believe even though we can't see it.
Oh, I get it.
So even though we can't see God, we believe that he's there. We believe that he's working in our lives.
You mean he's right there?
Kind of.
Kind of, but kind of somewhere else.
Well, he's here with us, but
Somewhere else.
I don't-
Somewhere else in heaven.
but we can't see him with our eyes. So we are going to be apparently throwing our Play-Doh containers, but we're going to actually use our Play-Doh, and we're going to build with our craft sticks, and we're going to build a strong foundation, just like Esther had a strong foundation for her faith, or for her courage to be building on, and for her to be brave. So we're going to build some shapes.
I'm just going, if I mess up, I'm just going to slide. I'm just going to cut it.
Okay.
I'm just going to cut it by my slide. No.
All right. We're going to be kind. Right? So you guys, all you need is some Play-Doh, craft sticks, and show me what you guys can build, all right?
Post it on Facebook.
Post it on Facebook.
Post it on our website. FNN.
He's just saying letters.
FCCNP.org.
FCCNP.org. There you go, Parker.
Thanks.
And we will see you guys tomorrow at 4 for Daily Devos.
Whoop-ow!
See you there.
And craft time.
Wait. Okay, now try Carson.
Hey everyone, we're here in the band video. Here we go.